1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H.
And we're live!
Hello and welcome to your episodic podcast. 1, 2, is this on? Hello, how you all doing? I am the BigDean 316 and I can't be selling 1, 2, 3, 4.
You messed up, Wayne, bro.
Do it, you do it. Do you start? To my right! I did. Have you boosted that job, man? How the guy? To my right, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello. And to my left, we've got BigDean 316.
It's the BigDean 316. How do we? You
I'm good, I am good. Sad week in the WWE week.
It is, to be fair, like
Losing Jeff Hardy.
It's a bit of a shame that it's a bit of a troubled character, supposedly, but I don't know, do you know much about it?
Not really, but I do know that he was on Matt Hardy's Twitter feed and he looks okay and that he's singing and doing meet and greets right up and down to Christmas, so something's off.
Did you see the footage of him leaving on that house show?
Yeah, so he rolled out and just stepped
left.
over the barrier and walked.
There must have been something wrong with him there
Yeah.
for him to do that, because even Drew McIntyre was like sort of play out into the crowd ways with the team member, because it was something Mysterio and two. What I've read, it's only on the internet, is that the WWE wanted him to go into rehab, and he refused. And because of that, they terminated his contract.
Yeah, I read that.
Read that.
But he looked fine he was talking on this Matt Hardy's Twitter feed, and a video of Matt Hardy's supported him big time, and his wife's even put on Jeff's fine, because I know there was like a lot of the WWE universe concerned for his well-being, not just the WWE universe, like all wrestling fans, but you know, the future's bright. It's something we can talk about when we do a Jeff Hardy episode about him, because he's an interesting character to talk about. He'll end up in AEW, without doubt.
Probably, So yeah, he's got to check the past, didn't he, with drinking, drugs and medication and that. So when they did an angle with him, it was during lockdown, I think.
They've done that angle with him.
It was kind of close to the knuckle, but it made it good, because they're not usually that sort of close to reality these days.
No.
So when they did that, I thought, he must have moved on. He must be in a comfortable place where he can actually do that. But
I thought he might have had one last run, mate. I really did. I know that he wanted to fight Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. He wanted to fight, or Roman Reigns wanted to fight Jeff Hardy, one of the two, and they wanted to fight at a pay-per-view. They wanted to have a big stage fight. Mm-hmm. That's what I think might be Jeff Hardy. That's one of the wrestlers he wanted to fight in WWE.
Shame
that's it is a shame.
Because I'd read stories where they were sort of planning he was going to get the one big last push. Even during COVID, when Roman Reigns couldn't fight at WrestleMania because of that, there was 3 wrestlers picked to replace him. Alistair Black, Braun Strowman, Jeff Hardy.
And they picked Braun.
And went with Braun.
He's not even there anymore.
Nah. Shame.
Anyways.
Massive shame. We'll move on. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have another letter of the week. Letter of the week.
They're coming thick and faster.
Yes. So this one is from.
Before we start this one, can I just say about the last one? Obviously, Big Stevie Cool.
Yeah.
He's
controversy.
He's tweeted. So if you haven't watched the last episode, you need to watch it. He's tweeted the last episode, and he disagrees. He is saying that little C is a C in the letter. Big Stevie Cool. You're wrong.
It's wrong, because you need the extra A. Stevie Cool, you're wrong, man.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. 2 words. Anyway, moving on. Now we've cleared that up. From a Double H.
Double H.
Double H. And he's wrote in saying, quite straightforward, Why were HBK's pants so high at SummerSlam 1993? It's a very good point. Now, at this match, he was fighting against Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perk?
His tangas in that match were fantastic.
Which ones were they?
Jet black with a luminous orange patch on the back.
Aye.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Anyway, it goes on to say, also, Triple H's shorts at the Elimination Chamber in 2003, agree, horrendous, and The Rock wearing a tracksuit for about a year.
Yeah. Well,
We have answers.
I
Good
just
question. We have answers.
I'm fair. The HBK one. I don't know.
I can't answer that.
No, I don't know if he was going through. I don't know what sort
Was
of
that just
phase.
a fashion? Because I had a look, in a lot of his early attire in the early 90s,
Wow.
the pants were all Simon Cowell's, aren't they?
Yeah. But Triple H wore. He had a quad injury at the time, and I think that's like they're not shorts. It's like he's got his kegs on, and it's like cycling shorts. So I think they may have been there to give him some sort of protection. They weren't like proper shorts.
He didn't wear them often, did he?
No, and I think it was because of his injuries at that time. I think. I haven't looked it up on it, but I think I can remember from back then that's why he wore them for. Because was it the blue ones? Well, he wore blue ones as well.
Blue? Were they
He had blue like shorts.
I remember
and he
getting
had them
shocked.
on. And I'm sure when he fought Goldberg a few times when he was getting them amongst him, he wore them sort of that attire.
Aye.
Shite.
I don't know, it just didn't look
But I
right.
think it was through injury. The Rock, I do know, he wore a tracksuit because he had surgery on his biceps, I think. And he had come back from that, and it was, I don't know if he had something reduced or something taken away, I don't know. But he had that, and it was just where he was able to sort of compete, but he had, like, obviously...
Must have cover up his bandages and
Aye.
they were real ones.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Double H. We hope that answers your question. Very well done, 1 2 3 4.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
While I was trying to find the answers to that, I did also come across something else on the internet.
Okay.
I find this quite amusing. It was a picture of The Undertaker. And, I've forgotten her name. But I'll show you this picture anyway.
Sarah McCool.
Nope. Right. So,
Sarah.
no. This is the picture I came across.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. So it's Undertaker and Rhea Ripley. Isn't that a lovely photo?
That's a lovely photo. Oh, he's had his teeth done.
Do you think there's something wrong with this picture?
His teeth's been done, hasn't it?
Well, I thought it's a pleasant picture, but he's smiling.
He's
Basically,
smiling,
He's smiling. Doing a little digging. Someone's done that. Someone's put the smiley face on the Undertaker. The actual picture. Is that? That is a lot more than it. Hey man, I'm going to put the picture up there. Jesus, I say.
Is that because does he do that for a reason? Do you think? Do you think he's still trying to be the Undertaker who doesn't smile? I seen a really good thing. Just quickly touching on the Undertaker on Facebook.
He should smile more often.
He should smile more I seen something on Facebook in regard to the Undertaker where they had like the variations of the Undertaker character, and they wanted to know which one you thought was the best, and which would be a great topic to talk about.
I've been waiting for ages for you to suggest an Undertaker episode. I'd love to do it. Big Undertaker fan.
Because like it was like you've got the
funeral director.
The funeral director Undertaker, the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, the American Badass, the Dark Lord. Like, you know, there were so many of them. So
definitely, I'm bound for that. Like,
yeah,
love takes me.
Oh, in the new year, son.
He's getting about though, isn't he? Taker at the minute. I watched him with Kevin Hart. We were sat in an ice bath. You seen that?
I was doing loads of like interviews and stuff.
Totally broke character. He's just talking normally, which is good. So there we go. Right then. So, as you know, every now and then we like to dedicate an episode to a wrestler who we deem worthy to dedicate our time to.
Yes.
So last time around we did the tale of Triple H. Now, after the last episode, we got a little bit of a taster for this wrestler.
Yes.
So now, this episode, we're going to do the
Jamie.
the tale of Kurt Angle. The tale of Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. Right.
You suck.
So, right, so Kurt Angle, hey man, unreal. I thought he was absolutely class. A wrestler who was very anti-attitude at the time. I thought with his
Milk.
and cookies and that, you know, like, but what a wrestler, man. I mean, he actually wrestled. Like a lot of wrestlers at that time, I thought it was a lot of like kicks, punches, stamps, all that. But he actually wrestled because of his sort of Olympic background. His character acting was class.
He was great on the mic. For somebody who came from an American wrestling background, like a real American wrestling, like a college wrestler. His mic skills were really good.
Superb, man.
He was really good.
He had it all.
And it just so happens that I found out that he got offered a job before he came into WWE as a presenter, working in Pittsburgh for a sports program that he was in.
Was this after the Olympics?
Aye.
Or like before? Was it?
After the Olympics. So there you go. Anyway, but yeah, look, listen. Obviously we Kurt Angle. We've had some belter laughs with him with the comedy effect that he showed with. Real good stuff. But for Kurt Angle, he from 5-year-old he wanted to be a wrestler.
Didn't all. I'm 41. I still want to be.
He's actually the youngest of 5 children.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, and he got into wrestling, and like football, American football, because of his noisy upbringing, and he had older siblings, older brothers, and obviously who he wrestled.
Yeah.
So they obviously wrestled around his older brothers, and he had a desire to break from their shadows. He wanted to be better than them, and I get that.
Were they wrestlers as well?
I don't think so. I never looked that far into it. Kurt Angle, he went into his school and he became an all-state linebacker and won the 1987 Pennsylvania State Wrestling Championship.
Yes, Kurt
Angle.
Get in. You can see him being a jock, like.
And do you know that he lost his father when he was only 14-year-old?
Didn't know that. 14-year-old,
and apparently it's quoted in his autobiography that when his father died, I'll see if I've got the quote. When his father died, he says something in regards that day is the day he knew he had to grow up. I found it. I grew up and overcame my fears the day my father died. I vowed right then and there to become a champion, to do whatever it took.
Wow.
That's a quote in his autobiography. I didn't know he had an autobiography out. Might be a good read. But like, yeah, so there you go. And after high school, he attended university, winning countless wrestling championships.
Right.
And upon graduating in 1983, he hoped to move into professional football.
Right.
And he tried out for his favourite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right.
As a fullback. Not a Gary Neville fullback.
No one wants to be Gary Neville, man.
Not a... He even says that himself. Anyway, although he thought that it went well. Obviously, he thought that it went well. He never got offered a contract. So instead of attending the Steelers practice squad, he decided to return and put his focus in on wrestling.
Right.
And then, which then obviously he won his first gold medal with the FILA Wrestling Championships. And a spot as a fox catcher, whatever that is.
All right, a fox catcher.
And a spot as a fox catcher. That's me notes that I've got.
All right.
And then he given him the opportunity to train under the legendary Dave Schultz.
Right.
There you go.
So does that take up to the Olympics. Just
So
about
then he obviously, because he's lost his dad, obviously he wanted to focus on his goals and things like that. 2 seconds, and he became. No, wait, I've written the same bit down twice. So when he went and he came with Dave Schultz, who was a wrestling coach, which took him into the Olympics.
Right.
Which is 1996.
1996,
Yeah.
So, in the 1996 Olympics, he won 5 matches in 2 days to win the gold medal, all with a broken freaking neck, which I wasn't sure was actually true. I thought it might have been just wrestling, you know, how Mark Henry's the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
He actually did. So, Kurt Angle had fractured 2 crucial vertebrae and herniated 2 discs just before the Atlanta Olympics.
Yeah. I've got that down in my notes as well, because the MRI revealed, that's what I put it, the MRI revealed 2 bulged discs, 2 bulged and
2
herniated-
bulged discs?
No, that'll be
Yeah,
two bulged and herniated discs and 2 cracked vertebrae, which is said, and also pulled muscles in his neck. He was ordered to heal for at least 6 months, which would have took him out of the Olympics.
He must be tough, isn't he?
Gotta be hard as Zeus.
Got to be.
And then he broke his. He done it with a broken freaking neck.
Broken freaking neck. But I didn't know this, but he first appeared sort of in the WWF umbrella. Was in ECW, so it was 3 months after the Olympics, where he had a bit of a standoff with Taz, you know, where they come in, sort of introduce him. But he actually left the show early, disgusted at what he'd seen. Because there was a segment later on in the show where Raven sort of portrayed a crucifixion of the Sandman.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely disgusted, to the point where he threatened Paul Heyman to say, if you show any of my face in this episode, I'm going to sue you. Mental. Aye. And he turned down off the back of that initially a 10-year contract with the WWF.
I knew that. I knew Vince wanted a time up for 10 years and he turned it down.
All off the back of that, after ECW.
Aye.
Imagine Vince would have been going, what's going on?
Aye.
So,
and I don't even think he lasted 10 years. Maybe, I think.
We'll find out as we're going. It was quite 10.
But just before that, though, when he finished the wrestling, he won his gold. He was offered a job as a sportscaster, which is like for broadcaster, and a Pittsburgh-based television station. That sounds right. Since television station. Yeah, but he decided it wasn't for him because he knew he wasn't done being an athlete. Which I get that, and I think, like, you know, nobody wants to think that they're retired. So like,
he wouldn't be very old, would he?
No, but yeah.
I'd imagine him holding the mic.
Because he was really good. He's really good on the mic. To be fair, when he first came in, he was really good. I think the second stint, when he come back to WWE, he wasn't as good.
Broken man when he came back.
Aye.
So in the summer of '98, he had a change of heart, and that is when he began training as a wrestler, an entertainment wrestler, under Dory Funk Jr.
And I know why he had the change of heart for in 1998, because he was inducted into the Calrion University Sports Hall of Fame.
Alright.
And then he transitioned into professional wrestling.
Hey! Well, 1, 2, 3. So, do you remember when he first came in though? Like, the videos and the vignettes, as they call them, they weren't very good. They were boring, weren't they?
Yeah.
They just portrayed him as a wrestler, and that was it. No sort of character.
Yeah.
I'm Kurt Angle. I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I can wrestle. I'm a better wrestler than you. And it wasn't very good. It just had him down as a pure breed wrestler, so you can see why maybe people weren't that excited about PR. But then, as soon as he was up and running, tell you what, he has a hell of a year. In February 2000, he first won the European title.
Yeah.
Can you remember who he beat? I didn't know.
Without looking. I've got it written down, but I'm not going to look.
Val Venus. Then shortly after...
Hello, ladies.
Val Venus was superb. Then he won the Intercontinental Championship on top of the European belt shortly after, at No Way Out, beating Chris Jericho.
Jericho, yeah.
Aye. Then, so this was a good sign. He lost both belts at WrestleMania 2000 in a 2 falls match with Benoit and Y2J, but he never got pinned once. So Benoit, Y2J pinned Benoit for the Intercontinental, and vice versa for the European.
So it wasn't like it was 2 falls. Is that aye? Yeah,
It
2
was a
falls.
triple threat match
It's-
twice, aye.
Yeah.
2 fall triple threat.
Aye.
That's always a good sign. If someone loses the belt and it didn't get pinned,
Aye.
Vince usually is
Back
back
with you, yeah.
Very good sign. So after dropping them belts, he carried on his achievements that year and won the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know that he aligned himself with Edge and Christian called Team ECK?
Aye, Team Eck, aye. I teamed up with them.
Edge, Christian and Kurt. Team Egg.
I
And they feuded with Too Cool, with Rikishi. I think that might have been when Rikishi might have joined Too Cool.
I remember that. That was a good little group.
He beat Rikishi in the final of the 2000 King of the Ring,
He
actually.
did. On the way there, he beat Y2J again, so he's wrestled with Jericho quite a bit early in his career, and Crash Holly.
Crash Holly, man.
Crash Holly.
God rest his soul.
Alright.
He died, he did die, didn't he?
I just get him and Spike Dudley mixed up. Little dudes. Just a small man.
He's just a very small man.
Very small man. So I teamed up with them, then split away. So this is when he sort of was let loose properly on his own, so to speak. And he had with the big guns, and he had a storyline with Triple H and Steph with having a platonic relationship with Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
As the McMahon Helmsies were on the rocks.
Yes.
I'm sure they kissed though. They could
Yes.
not kiss her.
I think they did.
Because then there was like a little bit of a love triangle, and then he had a fight with Triple H at Unforgiven, which of course Triple H is going to win.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that should have lasted longer because it was good. Kurt was great interacting with Steph like that.
Yeah.
It just seemed to get squashed.
I think, but before that match started though, didn't he bump into Steve Austin, if I remember correctly? Austin was looking for the perpetrator who ran over him in the previous year's Survivor Series.
Alright.
And Angle offered to be his friendship and one of his gold medals. Them had really good segments.
Class chemistry.
But Austin was not pleased. He wasn't pleased at all. And he would keep it in a nice safe place. Right up his ass before attacking Angle.
What kid? Somebody trying to help him out the stable.
And throwing his medal. Hey, God.
That was probably the start of their chemistry, man, because they were
Class together, they were really good.
So from that, he then won his first WWF title against The Rock.
The Rock at No Mercy.
2000, yeah. And then, I mean, that's a quick jump, you know, pretty much. He's held the belts in quick succession. And he defended against The Undertaker at the Survivor Series. Remember that? I'm sure Taker had them snakeskin pants on.
I
Speaking
remember.
about dodgy fashion.
Yeah, was that Hell in a Cell match?
Next, no, so that was after.
After the Hell in a Cell.
He was champ in that 6-man Hell in a Cell match.
That's where Rikishi comes off the top of the Hell in a
Pushed
Cell.
off, man.
In the how was there just a truck full of hay?
Yeah, it just turned up. Oh, I know. Because Vince McMahon, for whatever reason, wanted to pull the side of the cell down because he didn't want the match to go ahead.
Right.
So that's why this big farmyard truck reverses up
Against it.
against
It's
it.
part of the story.
Oh,
Was Henry Godwin about like?
oh God, it's never far away. That was great. I remember watching it at the time, though, being a bit disappointed. I think the last one before that was Mick Foley got launched off it. And then for Rikishi just to get nudged off and fall into some hay.
This big man falling. But he was really good on off the rope, Rikishi, when he was headling and that.
I was. Quite agile for a bit.
Yeah, he was.
But if you watch that match back, it is
I will, I'll
so
watch it.
much talent in there, man. Then after that, he defended against Triple H at the Royal Rumble 2001, and then dropped the belt to The Rock at No Way Out 2001. We'll find as we go through this. There's quite a bit of action in No Way Out.
No Way Out, yeah. That was just before the invasion, wasn't it?
Aye.
The invasion's coming soon, I think.
I don't think they have that now, do they? No Way Out. Sure
No
they don't.
Way Out, no, I don't think so.
Anyway, so after that, after dropping the belt, he then had a class feud with Chris Benoit, which they fought
Yeah,
in
them did
17,
have a good feud.
and it went on after. That was just the start of their rivalry, like, and just proper wrestling, like, so
Proper
technical.
wrestling, aye.
It was at this point when his character began to change, where he became a little less sort of
Serious.
static, and he was just more aggressive. More aggressive than being the total nerd that he was.
Aye.
So it's just ramped him up a bit. I mean, like, he used to ride to the ring on a moped, wearing the small cowboy hats and that, singing Jimmy Crack Corn with his guitar.
I don't care.
Well, that was him and Austin, wasn't it?
It was.
Sort of fighting for Vince's affection at the time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what led, because they were both injured at the time, weren't they? And that kept them on the telly, and that's some of the funniest stuff WWF's ever done.
That was the invasion era. Just like that was because that's when he became close with Austin, because them formed the alliance.
Aye, so that's it. We've got the invasion angle. So that was kicking in. So Austin and Angle initially teamed up before Austin switched sides, and then he joined the alliance.
Yes.
He turned on Angle, which started the feud between the two.
Yeah.
Then Austin beat Angle at SummerSlam. There was loads of stunners in that match. Loads of stunners. And then Austin lost to Kurt Angle. He submitted at Unforgiven.
To the ankle lock?
Aye, and Angle won the belt. Tapped out, Stone Cold. I'm sure he didn't tap much.
No, he didn't.
Put up a fight in sharpshooter against Bret Hart.
I did, aye.
So
that's a good stat.
that's a hell of a thing. But he did lose it 15 days later on Raw. But I haven't wrote down who he lost it to.
So, wait, is that when he won the belt? Was it not?
He beat Austin at Unforgiven. By making him submit, won it, but then he lost it on Raw 15 days later.
To Austin.
Oh, it was about Austin,
Yeah.
was it? Ah, right.
Yeah.
Angle then...
That was with Commissioner William Regal. He joined the alliance and cost Angle the match. As part of the story then.
Aye, that's right. Aye. It was good, the 2 and 4.
And then he turned heel after that again. Angle.
Aye, because he cost Kurt Angle the match at Survivor
He joined
Series.
the alliance.
He did the switch, aye. Oh, aye, did that.
Himself, he joined there,
Aye, so that was good. I mean, I mentioned in one of the previous episodes, I watched that. And the Raw after that Survivor Series, and Kurt Angle was just wanting the plaudits all the time. To the point where Vince was going to give him the belt because Austin didn't turn up. But then Ric Flair turns up and stops him getting the belt. That was quite good. I did like that. Then he became a heel again as he feuded with Triple H, Austin, and fought Kane at WrestleMania.
Kane, 18,
It was a good fight, that. And then after that led to, I think, one of his best feuds was against Edge.
Edge with the hair versus hair match.
Aye, class man. It started the "You Suck" chants.
Aye,
Which to stick with him forever now.
I think that was the beginning of Edge's.
I put a pen up. Aye.
Aye.
Definitely. I beat Edge at Backlash. Lost his hair versus hair match. So he had to shave his. He was receding a bit, Kurt. Wasn't he?
He was receding a bit.
That was a great feud, really good. That's that. I mean, we've all been there. Well, most of us have been losing their hair. But he tried to hide his hair, didn't he? When I used to come down to the ring, he had the wig on, and he had what looked like one of Scott Steiner's old wrestling hats on. Totally ashamed to show his baldy hair. That was good. But when he eventually embraced the baldy, he just looked meaner. Man. He had no hair.
You did look meaner.
Superb, like he sort of really toned down the geekiness and became a proper wrestling machine, like class. You got just see him baldy head, his neck just bulging when he's got someone in the ankle lock, man.
I think they had a tag match with and Edge's partner was Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and they attacked Angle and they stripped him of his wig. But they tried to get him of his wig, but he gnashed, he sneaked off before they could get him. So.
That's fun. Right, so when he was this wrestling machine, the baldy Kurt, He just went on a bit of a rampage, tapped out Hulk Hogan, poor
Yeah.
Terry, beaten Edge. This is also when he turned down the challenge of a young up-and-coming wrestler called John Cena.
For ruthless aggression!
It was like John Cena was in the
And obviously that was the new era from the Attitude Era into Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless aggression. I can hardly say that. Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless Aggression.
I like that era. That was alright.
Ruthless Aggression even wasn't bad. If you watch that thing on the WWE Network, that what's it called again? Ruthless Aggression. The series, it's really good. Give it a watch.
Very good. Now, digging into this, right, I don't know what this is. From here, they became part of the SmackDown 6. So Kurt Angle was part of the SmackDown 6. Can you remember this?
No. So what's this? Is this the people who started SmackDown?
So it's the people who carried SmackDown in for this period of time. But it was better than Raw. It was deemed a better show than Monday Night Raw.
Is this Angle, The Rock?
No.
So Angle,
Got Kurt Angle.
but Brock Lesnar.
Nah. You'll never get them.
No, I want to get Edge.
Yep.
Kurt Angle, Edge, Eddie Guerrero,
Yep.
Chris Benoit.
Yep. 2 more to get. You'll definitely get one. I don't think you'll get the other one. Even though he was a brilliant wrestler, I was very surprised to see him.
Can't think.
Rey Mysterio
Oh God, I should have got him.
and Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo Guerrero. You know what? I'm just looking at his name there. Because I'd got it down when Team Angle. I think it was at the Team Angle and Los Guerreros. They fought with them.
Mm-hmm. Good wrestler, one.
He was really good.
Just yeah. So that,
I remember that actually. I remember SmackDown was good at that time.
it was, but I can't remember that. Like the SmackDown 6. But I thought
And
about
that's what they called them, eh?
2002. Aye.
SmackDown
They
6.
boosted them up. But like you've got the 4 pillars in AEW at the minute. Anyways. So, then around just after that, he took on his little posse.
Team Angle!
Which was Charlie Haas.
And, Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, brilliant wrestler.
He should have won the belt.
He was just terrible on the mic.
Awful.
Awful. And, like, he's so gifted.
Mm-hmm.
He's a brilliant wrestler, performer.
Mm-hmm. Just not big on that. No, but they introduced that his mum come in. Or
Aye.
somebody who was meant to be his mum. It's like a big mama's house looking like.
Aye.
Poor Shelton. She could have been, if they should have paid it, could have paid him up with like Paul Heyman or something.
I know.
Probably last kind of talk.
Yeah, I know. But that's good what they've done with MVP with him, by the way.
Really good.
Because MVP is decent on the mic, by the way.
Very good, He could still probably wrestle more.
I know.
He could. When Team Angle was going strong, he won the WWE title for a 3rd time in December 2002, beating
Brock Lesnar.
Big Show.
Big Show.
Close. And then in another great fight, which some say is an absolute masterclass.
Have we gone past the thingy champion yet? When Jericho became the undisputed champion. That part, because I was going to touch on that because I read that Kurt Angle quoted that he was supposed to be the first ever WWE undisputed champion,
Alright.
holding both belts. Remember Jericho won it?
Aye.
We're past that bit now, aren't we? Because the shows have split. Yeah, we're past that bit.
Hey, I can't remember.
Because that's why they split the shows. And you had the 2 belts.
Oh no, it mustn't be there yet. It must have been on both. Because it comes in later on when he wins.
Okay.
Because at this point it was the smaller championship belt. I was thinking Brock Lesnar having it. Smaller, sort of more compact.
No, that's the one that I had. That's the belt they made when they split it off.
Was it?
Yeah, that's the undisputed belt. Yeah, so that's the belt that they made. That's the belt that they made when they split it off. So Jericho had the WCW. What was the WCW? The World Championship belt.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was the Attitude Era one.
And the Attitude Era belt.
Aye.
The two of them.
Aye.
I had the two of them. And then when the amalgamated them, it became the one that you're talking about, that Brock Lesnar had.
Ah, well, they must bring the heavyweight belt back, which I think they do.
Yeah.
Do they not have one champ on both brands?
And it wasn't that the one champ for both brands, yeah. And then they split it back in, they bring the heavyweight belt back, and the new WWE belt, which becomes the spinning belt.
Aye, that's much later on, aye, but are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Just trap me foot between the chair leg. Oh my god, that's gonna look funny on camera later.
That's staying in. Where was I? Tuesday.
Sorry.
Alright, so he fought Benoit at 2003 Royal Rumble, which he won via submission. Class fight, absolute class.
Brilliant
I've
fight.
watched that, man. It's just amazing, them two. Then this is where it's sort of injuries take its place. So Junkie Style and his upcoming Mania 19 fight against Brock Lesnar.
Is that when Brock wins his first belt?
Aye, so he had to drop the belt to him and had neck surgery. But it was sort of like groundbreaking, so they didn't fuse his spine. They removed bone spur instead.
I mean, yeah.
So instead of him being out for like ages, he's only out for 3 months.
It's mental, like, it's like, you know, like, obviously these people, like Kurt Angle is one of them, who I have similar problems in my back, where it's all like it's your spinal and nerve damage, and I've got like bulging discs, and I needed spine fusion and stuff like that, and they won't give me it. And like, this is a guy as well as Shawn Michaels who've had these surgeries, spine fusions, and they're able to get back into a ring and wrestle and jump off the turnbuckles, and I want mine done so that I can go for a run.
Mental.
It's crazy. And that's all I want to do, so I can try and get myself fit. But they keep telling me that, but these people can do that. I wonder if it's because they've got the private care and they pay for the best people.
That's right. Be Vince sorted out.
Vince!
So
Bring his sodas out.
What's going on?
I know, man, how I am piling the beef on, Vince.
That fight though, him and Brock Lesnar, that's when Brock landed on his neck
Aye.
after doing the shooting star.
the
Not
shooting
star. Was it
A shooting star press he's done. And he went into them. Did you see him in his dungarees?
Oh, brilliant! That's recent SmackDown now. His skits for Sami Zayn have been absolutely class. Have you seen them?
I've seen one of them. I didn't see I just seen the picture of him in his dungarees and I burst out laughing.
Oh, watch them. They're really good. Best stuff they've done
in Wales.
Aye, very, very good. Anyway, constraints.
Yes.
So in Vengeance 2003, when he made his return, he regained the title, beating Brock Lesnar. So he got it back. Then he carried on with another injury. He had a hamstring injury before eventually having to drop the belt again on SmackDown in an Iron Man match against Brock Lesnar. Now this match is deemed the greatest match in SmackDown history.
Is it
by
really?
A lot of people are.
Oh, I'll have to watch that one.
He's injured. He's injured again. So that match he had with Brock at Mania was class. Injured. He's had the best match in SmackDown history. Injured. Some boy, man. Then he had a babyface turn when he returned, beating John Cena, tapping him out. So John Cena would have been in his rock.
Yeah.
Thugonomics.
Yeah, Thugonomics. Doctor of Thugonomics.
And then all of a sudden he turned heel again in a feud with Eddie Guerrero for the title at Mania 20. Again, another class match. I can remember Angle being really brutal with Eddie Guerrero in the build up to this. Positively handcuffed him and just braid him all over.
He was quite aggressive with his
brilliant. Watch it.
persona then. He was really good.
Absolute class. Guerrero sold it amazingly well. But I can just remember watching it going, oh,
Guerrero was
it's
class.
fake.
Of
course it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. How dare you?
Then Eddie beat him at He beat him at WrestleMania with the old loose boot trick.
Uh-huh.
And they had him in the old ankle lock, looked like he was going to
Oh,
win.
well, I would cheat with steel.
Aye, then the boot comes off and Eddie Guerrero wins. Class, man. That was great. I loved Eddie, he was good, very good.
Really good, he was really, really good.
Then again, back off, needed more neck surgery. Poor bloke, like. And then when he did return, while he was still recovering, he was SmackDown General Manager. I remember this as well. It was quite good. And positive, he was a heel GM. Because I'm sure he was like totally like shafting Eddie Guerrero and Cena and Tori Wilson at the time. He was quite good. He even ended up in a wheelchair.
Yeah, because he was faking his handicap. He was faking it so that he didn't get put in a match with Eddie Guerrero at SummerSlam. I think he beat Guerrero by some submission in that SummerSlam actually when he must have fought.
Then Vinnie Mac fired him as GM when he was fit again to wrestle.
Yeah.
So then he was terrible after this. I remember this, he was really bad. He hit like when he did come back to wrestle, his storylines were terrible. I remember him attacking the Big Show with a tranquilizer dart. It's like, how weird, man.
I can't remember that.
Beating up Santa.
Oh, poor Santa Claus.
How man, Kurt, he kind of beat up Father Christmas. Anyway, then he had his new posse. I couldn't even remember.
I'm looking forward to hearing this because I can't remember this.
Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak. Probably his worst run in WWE. Absolutely terrible. What were you doing, Vince? Really
Mark
bad.
Jindrak. He was a big fella.
However, things would take a better turn. Back on the up. A rejuvenated Kurt Angle then had a feud with Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Can you remember why they started feuding? This was brilliant as well.
No.
Shawn Michaels eliminated him in the Royal
Rumble.
Mm-hmm. And he went absolutely off it, dragging Shawn Michaels out and just sprayed him all over. From that,
It's led on to
feud.
yeah.
Superb. That's when you had the Sexy Kurt song.
Yeah.
Just the Sexy Kurt. I'll make your ankle hurt. You had Sensational Sherry in the ring.
I can't remember.
Come on. Oh, you need to watch it.
I can't remember that.
He's just a sexy Kurt.
I can't remember.
Oh, class. Absolutely brilliant. Then they had a fight at Mania 21. Was a 30-minute match.
Which is that the one that he deems as his best ever match?
Yep. Mm-hmm. He won it via ankle lock. I mean, I've not long watched this. I don't know why, but the crowd was so behind Shawn Michaels to win.
Mm-hmm.
So behind because Kurt Angle was such a good heel, and he just kept getting him in the ankle lock over and over again. Where he was getting to the rope and then getting dragged back. It was like, come on, Shawn, hang on. Mm-hmm. No, he eventually tapped it. Oh, that was superb. They then went on to have a rematch at Vengeance, which Shawn Michaels won. And then they had another match which was deemed just as good, if not better.
Is that
in the first of
on a Raw?
On Raw, aye.
Was it a 30-man Iron Man match? 30-minute Iron Man match?
It was, aye. Class feud, and that bumped him back up, man, because he'd had bad storylines before that. That was an absolutely class feud.
Yeah.
Then moving forward, after that 2006, he was back on SmackDown, winning the World Heavyweight title in a Battle Royal because Batista had to drop it because of a pec injury.
Oh,
remember that? Cannot back winning the belt.
That must have lasted long though because he left.
He held it for 3 months. He defended it against Undertaker, No Way Out,
right.
Another class match.
Mm-hmm.
But he dropped it to Rey Mysterio in the triple threat match at Mania 22, not long after Eddie Guerrero passed away.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then, he coming towards the end of the tunnel here, he was drafted to the brand new ECW to establish this television show. That was awful. Awful.
It was.
Like Sunday Night Heat. ECW.
It was crap.
Absolute crap.
The ECW one night stand thing was decent, but then when they brought it back into it as like A regular show, no good.
Is that when John Cena and RVD fought?
Mm-hmm.
And John Cena chucked his t-shirt into the crowd and chucked it
Back
back.
at him. That's
What if Cena wins, we right?
I've seen him.
Oh, that was superb, and that was good, but the show itself. Again, got injured, he tore his groin and his abs, and he wanted time off.
Yeah, which they wouldn't allow.
Vince refused, so because of this, he asked for his release, which they eventually granted in August. Then 1 month later, so it's a month later, so all he wanted was what? A couple of weeks off to rest up. Shock now.
And then he ended up in TNA.
TNA, aye. I mean, I don't know much about TNA, I didn't really follow it. Like.
Well, I did, I watched it, and they had some great stuff, and I thought Kurt Angle in TNA was great, and he was really good. And that little bit of a break that he had must have done him the world of good, because I'm sure he became the first inductee in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Aye.
Now, when he joined TNA, he first come in he confronted Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe had the NWA Heavyweight Championship, and he was busy feuding with Jeff Jarrett, and he made Angle beat him up and Jarrett pinched the belt back.
NWA, so that
The
NWA belt was in TNA, was
well,
it?
it's like it's pretty much like AEW. You know how they take the belts, the NWA belt will go in
so
there,
it can go
whoever's got it, and it can go into each one.
Right.
And it's like that's like the TNA belts being in AEW as well. So they're like, I mean, it would be great if WWE opened their doors for that to happen. By the way,
Tried, and Vince blocked it.
Imagine though, how good wrestling would be if that happened. Anyway. It didn't take him long to do what he needed to do. He became the first ever triple champion, so he won all belts. It's like really, really quick.
He won everything though at the same time.
Yeah.
I saw
like
that.
Stimulaneously. Oh, that's a word in our Stimulaneously.
Simultaneously.
Holy shit.
Today's letter is S. Simultaneously.
But like, you know, like he joined forces with AJ Styles and Tom Cole. Can you remember Tom Cole? Christian had Tom Cole.
Old-fashioned tattoos.
And they're called the Angle Alliance.
Alright.
But anyway, like that, they ended up feuding with a couple of people. But the best thing for me, when I seen this live, I went to Florida and I went the TNA base was at Universal Studios, and me and my son went and we got on a live television show, which was the Saturday night show that they went on, and we had great seats, and we're on the telly, we're on through the episode, we're in it throughout when we met them. But they had a great faction that I really loved, and it would have been great in like WWE. They were called the Main Event Mafia.
Alright.
And it consisted of Kurt Angle, Sting, Booker T, Kevin Nash, and who's the other one? Because there was two versions of it.
Scott Steiner.
I'm sure Scott Steiner didn't come in until the second one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. So it was. So it was Kurt Angle and Sting who sort of them were the leaders of the group,
right?
And then Kevin Nash was like after that. But when they came out, they were great. It was just like I loved that stable. I couldn't think of it there, and it was really, really good stable. And TNA at that time was probably at its best to watch then. And like Ric Flair was even coming into it then, and Ric Flair was with AJ Styles, and AJ Styles was wearing the Ric Flair robes.
Was it?
Yeah. So
wow.
the pinned Styles with Flair, and Flair would come out, but that was all around then. But yeah,
wow,
so
what a pairing.
it was really good. But yeah, so that and he just showed what he done in there. But I think after then though, that's when he decided that he had his alcohol and his drug addictions, and then he needed to go to rehab. Went to rehab, and then
that was January 6th, 2016. That's when he left TNA. So he was spent more time in TNA
Than he did WWE,
then though, however, he must have sorted himself out because he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2017. Then he returned as Raw GM, where he feuded with Triple H again in the GM role. He just wasn't happy, was he? Triple H, so he necked on with his bird.
No.
That's what it is. Held a grudge for 10 years. Oh, I'm on age. Then they had a mixed tag match
with Ronda Rousey.
Correct. Mania 34, Triple H Steph, which was voted by some as the match of the night at Mania 34. It's alright.
Two old school wrestlers. I heard Triple H might have to retire completely now. That's him done.
Because he's ticker. Look like who?
I know. No. Go on. I know.
Sorry. Then after that, he had. I didn't like this. He had a one-off match as a member of the Shield.
I didn't like it.
No need for that. He had a few sort of matches, and I think when it was storyline where whenever he lost, he had to retire, which ended up at WrestleMania 35, where he lost to Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Clean, middle of the ring. I'd read that he initially wanted to fight John Cena as his last match. Vince said no.
And they've tried to put Baron Corbin over and failed miserably.
Baron Corbin's a great wrestler. They just need to find his gimmick. He's good on the mic. It's just what he says. It's terrible. Get somebody good, and he could go far. I think he could. Really good. But so that's pretty much it. So for me, summarising, I think he's got to be one of the greats.
Definitely, I totally agree.
And I think possibly he's one of the most underrated.
Underrated?
Whenever you ask people about their Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, you never hear Kurt Angle, but you look at his matches.
I think that's some of the best. I agree, Yeah, I agree.
Great.
Well, we'll save that one for, what we've got to do, what top 5 wrestlers. Got to do loads more top 5s. It's just when we'll fit them in and when we'll put one in.
That's it. Squeeze them.
Difficult.
So, I great range. Best crossover athlete. And I think he's one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. It's true. It's damn true. So there we go. That was the tale of Shane McMahon.
He's pinching me crap.
I've got that. There we go. So there we go. That was the tale of Kurt Angle, of course, and this has been your episode this time around.
And you have been?
I have been BigDean 316. He has been
the 1, 2, 3 Freya. We love you, we appreciate you, and if you're not down with that, we've got 2 words for you. Keep it sweet.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. If you're not down with that,
oh shit! Oh, perfect timing.
What's the chances of that?